Hey, how is it going, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube channel of Petroleum from Scratch. I am Jaiyesh, and this is Statistics for Energy Engineers playlist. So, in our last video, we discussed about data, nominal data, basically different types of data. So, in this video, we are going to discuss about level of measurements in this data. Before moving forward to our standard deviation, mean, median, mode, I think we just need to discuss about this level of measurement so that there will be a brief inside your brain that okay, how does different data can be dealt, right? So let's start our discussion regarding this. So level of measurement of data. So basically there will be two types of data. If we kind of categorize the whole data system, we can categorize into two types. One is your qualitative, and other is your quantitative. So inside quantitative, as the name is suggesting, quantity is there, right? So all the numbers, whether they are whole number or any number, basically all your numerical data will come inside this quantitative level of measurement, and all your categorical data will come inside your qualitative, right? So again, in qualitative, we can further divide it into nominal and ordinal that we discussed in our last session. Nominal and ordinal, and the quantitative can be further subcategorized into your interval, number intervals, or into your ratio. So talking about again in the nominal, the example was when there is no order present. So basically you can take, for example, we have a data that is having some cities feature inside that whether a person is living in which city, right? Cities are there. So that can be Bangalore, Delhi, or Mumbai, right? So we cannot kind of define a order inside them because all can be equally important for your use case, right? And in your ordinal, as we discussed, order is there, order is present. Example is which recovery method our reservoir is operating on. Is it operating on primary, secondary, or tertiary, right? So basically a order is present there, right? Primary will come into the picture first, then comes secondary, then tertiary. So some of the properties of this qualitative or categorical data are, we cannot use statistical computation on these nominal data. So basically statistical computation, I mean, we cannot kind of find out mean and standard deviation here, right? Because all these are different categories. So calculating the mean or standard deviation doesn't make sense. But what you can do, you can calculate the mode here. Mode is basically the uh, value that is repeating most of the time. So for example, in our this people data, Delhi is coming a lot, means a lot of people, 90% of people are residing inside the Delhi, right? So Delhi will be our mode of this particular nominal data. So we can calculate mode and value counts here. And when we talk about inferential statistics that we are going to discuss, so chi-square test can be used for this type of data. Chi-square test. Just remember this thing. We will be discussing all the test. Chi-square test is used for statistical analysis on categorical data, right? Yes. Now coming on to our quantitative data type, numbers. Interval. Example of interval, as we discussed in last video also, oil production. Can be in any range, right? For example, it can have a range from 100 to 500 barrel per day. In between that, it can be any range. Oil production or your water injection rate. These will come inside your interval type of qualitative data, right? Here we can calculate mean, median, or mode. Mean, median. Here we cannot calculate, so let's just standard deviation. These things can be calculated here in ratio, as the name is suggesting. Example will be your gas oil ratio. If a oil well is producing, you have a production data of that particular field, so there will be a gas oil ratio, gas GOR feature will be present there, right? So that will fall inside this ratio subcategory. Water oil ratio can be another example, right? So again, this we can calculate mean, median, mode also. Mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. So all these statistical things we do on the data so that we can understand the data. So when we come to the modeling part of our data science project, we need to worry less, because if you know the data, you can probably deal with it very well, right? So this was all about this particular video. In the next video, we are going to discuss measure of central tendency. So until the next time, happy learning. Bye bye. Take care.